Well, as you can see, we dress very differently in the winter than we do in any other season. The first thing I want to remind you again, some good polarized sunglasses. They'll go a long way in those winters when the sun is reflecting off the snow. The next thing I'd like to tell you, you're never going to find a pair of gloves warm enough. You can do your absolute best, but you might want to get 2 pairs of gloves just to kind of try things out, or again, see what everybody's wearing in the village before you buy your own. The next thing you might notice that I'm wearing is very distinct. This is a mulachai. Mulachais are the fur hats that you can buy in the villages. You can pick one of these up in the village when you're there for a couple of months. They're a little bit expensive, but I promise you they're worth it. I swear by them. You're always going to want to wear your goggles. Your goggles are going to protect your eyes. You can get the tinted kind. I recommend the clear kind though, so I recommend clear goggles. The next thing you see me wearing is a face mask. This is a half face mask, or some people call it a gaiter. This is going to protect your face from windburn and from frostbite. Frostbite can happen faster than you might believe. What else do we have, Josh?
Well, as you can see, I'm actually wearing a headlamp. You'll definitely want to get one of these in the winter times. When you're going to school, it's going to be dark, and you want to be able to be noticed as well as be able to see where you're going. I also have on my head some earmuffs, or something you would shoot with. A lot of people wear these when they're riding snow machines and airplanes to kind of protect their ears from any sort of sounds that might possibly damage their hearing. So those are the things are also recommended. I also have a face mask here, which you can buy anywhere for about 50, 60 bucks. And I included this piece here, which shields wind and snow from getting into your face, especially when it gets to be minus 30 or 40 degrees. I also go with mittens. I like having gloves inside of my mittens. I have a couple different layers here, so that's kind of helpful when you get cold. This particular hat you can pick up for about $35. It's a bombardier hat. It's just rabbit fur. You can get this at Sportsman's Warehouse, Cabela's, a variety of different stores.
Fur's the way to go, though.
Yes, definitely the way to go. This actually mask is a little different than Sam's. It's not a Velcro type. It actually straps on and has a little bit less insulation on the top, so that your head can breathe a little bit underneath the fur.
Moves a lot of body heat through your head for sure.
The other thing I have here is Cabela's guide wear jacket. I love it. It is windproof. It's got a wind resistant, and it's also waterproof, and or it's Gore-Tex, so it's not completely waterproof. But I have a tendency to do a lot of layers. You can see there's pockets in here, and I've actually worn them out. But definitely stand by that jacket. So I actually go with another layer of vest. Actually, this is just a North Face vest, and then underneath that I've got a nice little hoodie that it's quite warm but not wind resistant. I'm kind of getting down to my office attire minus the Gore-Tex bibs. As I go down further, you'll see down here my boots. These are Alaskan, they call them Alaskan sneakers. You can get them at Cabela's. They're actually, I've had 2 sets of these in the last 10 years, so it's usually about 5 years apiece. Sam is actually wearing a little bit different boots.
Yeah, these are bunny boots. You hear the term bunny boots. Your feet are huge. You look like a rabbit running around in the snow.
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse, yeah. You can buy the white ones or the black ones. It's up to you. Some people say the white ones are a little bit warmer. I'm not so sure if I agree. All I know is if you get your foot through a broken creek and you fill up your boot with water, there is nothing in the world you want on your feet more than a bunny boot. These bunny boots are rubber inside and out, insulated layers on the inside. They actually have air. They're almost like inflated, this boot. So they're huge, but they're very, very useful. One thing you want to put on your boots, you definitely don't want to forget this. It's really icy up here, and when we have rain on top of snow, it melts and then freezes. You want to get some ice walkers or some kind of grippers.
These are stabilizers.
These are really nice. You can pick these up in Anchorage for probably pretty cheap, and you can get them online. What I'm wearing, if you go kind of from the ground up, I'm wearing bunny boots. Josh has some other boots. These are like some hardcore.
Yeah, these are actually musher boots. If you watch any mushing, you'll see a lot of mushers wear these. They actually they give you 3 inches off the ice of insulation. So if you are should we say height challenged and you want to grow a couple inches, buy a pair of these. These are extremely warm. I think they're rated to like minus 100 or something ridiculous. The only downside that I've ever found is because I'm a big guy, it's kind of tough to get my foot into the snow machine hole. That's the only downside. If you're a little bit smaller guy, then it's not a big issue. You can still get your foot in there.
And you know, you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to go wild on this stuff. You can see that you can spend a lot of money very easily if you want to take kind of the cheap way out. Really, what you have to have is a good warm boot. And again, what Josh was showing you earlier in the fall time, if you have one of these insulated boots, you can probably make do with this. You're not going to want to be out all day in the cold, but you can make do. If you want to get some snow pants, that's definitely a must. Snow pants are great because they're waterproof, so if you're playing around in the snow and the powder and it melts on you, it's not going to get you wet. Whereas I actually prefer the pants I'm wearing. These are Carhartt's Arctic Extreme insulated bibs. So they're insulated bibs. I prefer these just because they dry quickly, and I've never really been cold in these. You're not going to get soaking wet in the fall time or in the springtime when it's kind of the transition between really cold and warming up. You might get a little wet and muddy like you can see I am, but for the most part it works. The main key here, probably the biggest thing that we can give you advice-wise is layer. This is my top layer. This is absolutely the best coat I've ever had. It's
I'm a little jealous of this coat.
It's a Columbia Omni Heat. It's 700 weight, 700 feather count, whatever you call it. It's not very fluffy. It's really light, and you can squish it into a little ball about this big. And it's got almost like a foil on the inside, so it reflects my body heat. And I'm burning up right now, really burning up. And I've worn this when it's negative 20 outside, and I've been out hunting all day in it. And then just wear something to kind of keep yourself dry on the inside. It's all about layering. Just a sweater will do it for me in the dead of winter.
Yep.
Anything else you want to add there, Josh, about winter?
Just be prepared. Always be prepared for cold weather. Check your thermometer in the morning, see how cold it is, and kind of judge how much clothing you're wearing. You'll see the temperatures, and it might only say -10, but then you have a wind chill of 20 or 30, and all of a sudden you get.
You have to cover up any exposed skin,
Yep,
for sure.
real quick.
You get frostbitten in a hurry.